Drumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song. A good song. I heard he had a stand, and so I came to see him, listen for a while.
seated. Okay, good morning again, graduates. Welcome to the Fall 2024 College of Computing Commencement Ceremony for recipients of the Masters of Science in Computer Science degree. We will begin today's celebration by a singing of our national anthem by Georgia Tech's very own Patricia Allen, Director of Corporate Engagement. Please all rise for the singing of the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. My name is Vivek Sarkar, and I'm privileged to be the Dean of the College of Computing. I'd like to thank all of you for coming out in the cold today. And though the weather may be cold and windy this morning, we are all warm with pride for the achievements of all our new graduates. It was such a pleasure for me to see many of you yesterday evening at the Dean's new alumni launch event. And it's great that we are accompanied by your families, guests, and alumni. I would like to start by introducing my faculty colleagues from the College of Computing who are joining me on stage today. Please stand as your name is called. Edmund Chow, Associate Chair of the School of Computational Science and Engineering. Alex Endert, Associate Chair of the School of Interactive Computing. Mary Hudajek Buswell, Associate Chair of the School of Computing Instruction. David Joyner, Executive Director of our OMSCS program. And Vlad Kolesnikov, Associate Chair of the School of Cybersecurity and Privacy. Thank you all for being our awesome faculty colleagues. Please be seated. I have been to many graduations, but this is my first commencement as Dean, so it is a special one for me. I know that today is one of your proudest moments, and please know that as I look upon all of you, some of you whom I've had the chance to meet as well, it is a source of pride for me too. My faculty colleagues and I are proud to uphold Georgia Tech's motto that you've heard from our president as well, of progress and service. And we are committed to sharing our knowledge of computer science with everyone all over the world who has a passion for learning. We are especially proud that Georgia Tech's online Masters in Computer Science degree program enables us to reach a much wider set of students than we could before. And it is so heartwarming to see a fusion of on-campus and online graduates sitting here together on the field today. Over the course of your study, you have put in years of hard work, pushed yourselves to new intellectual and professional heights. The good news is that you made it. We heard earlier this morning about mountain climbing and never giving up. You made it. The better news is you're now ready to go out and make a difference in the world. We cannot wait to see what you can do next. It is now a real pleasure and honor for me to introduce our first speaker today, Ria Besapa. Ria is graduating from our online Masters of Science in Computer Science program today. She entered the program from India during the pandemic and did so well that she was accepted into the PhD program in computer science at Clemson University. Ria embodies the intelligence, discipline, and initiative that we expect from all of our master's students. Please join me in welcoming Ria Besapa to the stage. Ria?
Good morning, esteemed faculty, proud families, and my fellow graduates. I want to take this moment to truly appreciate how surreal all of this is. We have spent countless hours staring at our screens, wearing pajamas to classes, and occasionally panicking because our cat walked across keyboard mid-quiz. Yet, amidst this madness of algorithms, the time zone differences, the Slack and Ed notification we would receive at odd hours, today we gather here to celebrate our achievement of joining the Georgia Tech family as graduates from the College of Computing. Let's be honest. At one point or another, we all seriously considered using our laptops as frisbees. I personally went through a phase where I truly believed my code had formed a conspiracy against me. Yet here I stand, and so do all of you, each of us connecting from different corners of the world, wading through challenges and struggles that probably only we truly fully understand. Our degree is a proof of our grit, intellect, and unwavering determination. Believe it or not, this is only my second day ever on campus. What a time to show up, right? I was part of the online Master of Science in Computer Science program, pursuing my degree entirely online from Bengaluru, India. To me, this program redefines what online education could be, matching the rigor, quality, and variety of opportunities one could only expect from an on-campus program. It makes it possible for individuals like me, regardless of our lives or financial constraints and obligation, to access global-level education, preparing us to take on the challenges of the real world. To me, OMSCS didn't just offer coursework. It created a genuine community. And in this community, I learned something that transcended languages and borders. Oh my God, my code won't compile. Now that just sounds same everywhere. We have shared memes at 3 a.m., helped each other debug those maddening assignments. Well, sometimes there was just a type error. But amidst all of this, we have forged friendship that spans continents, proving to us education at its best unites us all. To the faculty and staff of Georgia Tech, thank you. Thank you for envisioning and realizing this program. to the educators who go above and beyond holding virtual classes, office hours, and more. Your efforts make it possible for thousands of students across the globe to access opportunities that they otherwise could not have had access to. So thank you. I want to take this moment to thank Dr. David Joyner, Dr. Anna Rush, Dr. Ashok Goel, and Dr. Sandeep Kakkar for believing in me and providing me with numerous opportunities. Today, we stand united as graduates of Georgia Tech, a family that spans across every state in the US, more than 120 countries, and almost all the continents in the globe. While some of us attended classes on campus, others were juggling time zone differences, careers, and families from halfway across the globe. Regardless of where you were, Georgia Tech and College of Computing are the common thread that binds us. Tomorrow, as we meet fellow yellow graduates, be it among mutual, oh no, it's very windy, be it among mutual friends, colleagues, or when we are seeking new job opportunities, we're going to find that this common thread bridges all gaps. Our journeys, though diverse, are interconnected. Together, we represent resilience, innovation, and most importantly, the boundless potential of human collaboration. So let's raise a cheer to all the time we thought about quitting but didn't, to all the code that mysteriously started working after we threatened to write the entire thing from scratch, and to the entire Georgia Tech College of Computing family, as well as our own family and friends who have made this journey absolutely wonderful. Congratulations, fellow graduates, we've earned our stripes. Now, as we walk across this stage, whether here in Atlanta or in spirit from afar, we join a long line of graduates who have come before us and those who will follow. Let's show this world what a yellow jacket can do. Go Jackets! Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Ria. And you're absolutely right. We are one family. We are a worldwide community of alumni families, current faculty and staff, and it's so great to have this community in our College of Computing. Now, it gives me real pride to introduce our next speaker, who's Kathy Pham. Kathy is a double alumna from Georgia Tech. She received her bachelor's degree in computer science in 2007 and her master's degree in 2009. Kathy is currently a Shorenstein Center Senior Fellow and a faculty member at the John F. Kennedy School of Government at Harvard University, and Vice President of Artificial Intelligence at Workday, and also a Senior Advisor at Mozilla. Previously, her private sector leadership has spanned Google, IBM, and Harris Healthcare. In government, Kathy was appointed the inaugural Executive Director of the National AI Advisory Committee, served as the Deputy Chief Technology Officer at the Federal Trade Commission, and was a founding member of the United States Digital Service at the White House. In 2024, this year, Kathy received AnitaB.org's highest honor of the Abby Technical Leadership Award. Believe me, there's a lot more that I can read from Kathy's bio, but I think we'd all much rather hear from her instead. So please join me in welcoming Kathy Pham to the podium. Thank you, Kathy.
Hello. Congratulations, College of Computing graduates. I'm so proud and honored to be here with you today to commemorate this special, special day with you, your loved ones, your families, and everyone who has tuned in. I'm gonna take this off because it's windy. Today I want to share with you some thoughts on the power of curiosity, wandering, and grit. Principles that will guide us, principles that reach into our humanity, especially at this moment in tech. I first stepped foot on this campus over 20 years ago, right over those bleachers at Harrison Dorm, and that moment completely changed my life, and it completely changed the life of my family. It gave my mom bragging rights for her entire life. She proudly proclaimed her status as a yellow jacket parent to anyone who would listen, her friends, my extended aunties and uncles, strangers at the grocery store, nail salon customers, and especially the doctors and nurses who took care of her during her 4 years of cancer battle. She would say, "My daughter, Georgia Tech, where'd you go?" To the oncologist at the leading medical center in the country. She was so proud, and she would be so proud of you all too. She didn't have a college degree, but she knew the power of one from this College of Computing at Georgia Tech. She saw how it sharpened my problem-solving skills, my deep understanding of responsibility to society and my role to use my degree in that, and the many doors it opened for me, even as I was just a student here at Georgia Tech in my undergraduate days and then into my graduate days. Her dream for me, you all, was to work in an air-conditioned office, unlike her life of standing on her feet all day and working with harsh chemicals. My mom died at the age of 58 of a rare T-cell acute lymphoblastic leukemia. It was environment-related, but we're not fully sure. There's a lot of research that really has to happen in cancer and precision medicine, and especially women's health. She died when her first grandchild was 6 weeks, my oldest. And during her cancer journey, I spent many hours by her side with chemotherapy infusions and blood transfusions, especially when her hemoglobin dropped too low. At the same time, I was building a tech startup in the White House called the United States Digital Service, focused on transforming healthcare for our veterans and our military. I asked a lot of questions during those days, both of my mom and her life and her journey, and of the entire healthcare system. Those days I remember as a wonderful blend of intense caregiving and intense curiosity. Sitting with my mom, I was living in electronic health record systems while I was also working on them at work. I was discussing complicated treatment plans with doctors and nurses while I was contributing to the National Precision Medicine Initiative. I asked endless questions, both as her cancer sidekick, but also as a computer scientist. I was curious about what was helpful, right? Like connecting healthcare systems in small hospital centers in Savannah, Georgia, with big medical centers in Palo Alto, California. What wasn't helpful, how erroneous drug interactions would lead to much longer wait times to prescribe anti-nausea medication. So what of that is a software intervention? Which of that is a policy problem? What of that is a supply chain problem? Right? These are complicated questions I was intensely curious about. Georgia Tech was the place that taught me to embrace that curiosity. As I wandered around campus, I crossed different disciplines: psychology, earth and atmospheric sciences, ethics, public policy. It really taught me the value of what being interdisciplinary was like, and how when we're interdisciplinary, we can really solve problems with our curiosity. As graduates of this trailblazing, unrivaled College of Computing, our curiosity leads to better products around the world and for society. In my scenario, it was the role of healthcare professionals that we're just as important in building technology as software engineers and product managers and designers. Let us use our curiosity to bring to the table so many perspectives that can build a better, flourishing society and empower fields not just like healthcare, but automotive and retail and government and education and finance and media and nonprofits and venture. These are all the spaces that our alumni have already impacted that you all will as you graduate from this place. And today, with the growth of AI, with multimodal models and language and video and audio and images and the possibilities with agentic AI, there's limited opportunities for what we can do with our technologies, built on the decades of research from the faculty and alumni here at Georgia Tech across machine learning, cognitive science, natural language processing, plus. We've laid the foundation for so much of that here. So let your curiosity guide you. The next topic, as we talk about curiosity guiding us, is wandering. By wandering, I don't mean just physically moving from place to place. That is one part of it. By wandering, I mean just letting our minds explore and experience the world in ways that are well beyond the silos that we are sometimes put into. During one of my mom's cancer remissions, I received a call to join the White House and start something called the U.S. Digital Service. It was a government startup. I left a predictable role at Google, where I built some of the first personal health records and search and talent analytics to wander into a new territory for me: public service. The leap taught me the value of bridging fields and going from one domain to another domain, and what we can really accomplish when we do that. I brought product thinking with my colleagues and sat alongside public servants who deeply understood the problems that society needed, and they taught me a deep responsibility that we have for our tech serving the world. I later wandered into academia, building cross-disciplinary groups, an ethical tech working group across legal, law, computer science, economics, social science, psychology, race and gender studies, human rights, and so much more. The understanding of all of those fields are needed for us to build a flourishing society with the tech skills that we have. Later, over at Mozilla, we started the Responsible Computing Challenge, which really pushed computing fields to be interdisciplinary with how they think about building responsible technology. We built a new incubator to completely rethink how venture should happen to build a more flourishing, healthier internet. Later went over and built the Office of Technology, working around the most brilliant legal minds in the world who have chosen as their life mission to protect consumers when technology does harm. Later wandered over to the National AI Advisory Committee, a deeply interdisciplinary group of people advising our governments around the world on the practice and policy of artificial intelligence. And now at Workday, laying the foundation, the backbone and foundation technology that many companies use around the world. There's a power in wandering in these new experiences that build bridges and connect dots that have never been there before. I share with you the words that I still hold deeply to my heart from some former leaders that I work with, and it's go where you are rare. Sometimes it benefits us, right? To be around many people who study the same thing. We're debugging something together, where we're deep in the throes of technology. And sometimes we go where we are rare. We bring our computing skills and our life sciences into places that it can really make a difference. Places that can benefit from what you uniquely have to offer. And wander doesn't always mean changing jobs and physically going around. There are over 130 million rare, unique books in the world. We can dive into so many different domains. Read legal briefs, read the history of medicine, read the psychology of decision-making, cross-pollinate these ideas, and bring these different fields together. Innovation comes from bridging disciplines, and our wandering minds can create those connections. And finally, grit. The actual building of bridges takes grit and perseverance. And so does the metaphorical ones. Applying our tech skills to solve society's toughest problems requires persistence, especially when the path is unclear, because those dots haven't been connected yet, and we have to do the work to make that happen. Grit is what sustains us when someone says no. It's what sustains us when our first prototype doesn't work, when we discover unintended consequences and we have to pivot what we're building, or when family health matters come up and how we show up at work in our professional lives completely changes. Grit gets us to that. We hold on to our passions, we hold on to what we fiercely want to fight for, and we keep learning and we keep trying and we keep going. This degree that you've earned today gives you tremendous power to affect change. I say that definitively because I've seen it happen. There's tremendous power in this degree and the experiences you've had here. And the impact will depend on the grit that you bring to the challenges ahead. And remember, though, to also bring that same grit to yourself. The grit to yourself, your health, your family, your relationships. Our healthy minds, our healthy bodies are essential to us building a flourishing society. So let's be curious. Let's wander together in this precious life that we have. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Kathy. That was so inspiring and so much on point in terms of where we look at computing today and its influence on every discipline and every industry. We're really happy that you were able to join us today, and thank you for all your service to the College of Computing, including being a member of our advisory board. Okay, next, the time is now. I would like to invite our master's graduates to come up on stage so that we can celebrate each of you. I also do have a request. After you receive your diploma, please do return to your seat so you can show the same respect to your fellow students that they've shown to you to stay till the end of the ceremony. So, graduates, get ready to line up. Some of you have already done so. Follow the instructions of volunteers. And families, friends, guests, get ready to cheer. Okay.
Sahil Gupta, Sandeep Randhir Tyagi, Sai Parashayil Satyawan, Sriram Desai, Wilson Hears, Anna Koryakina, Drishti Jain, Robert Francis Yegi, Aweb Barakat, Rohit Ganguly, Pablo Rocha Morera, Saurabh Jan, William Kim, Zachary Aristi, Kason Lee Cherry, Rahul Kumar, Edward Monroe Hustes III, Timothy David Crone, Sharath Simha, Sebastian Troncoso Meza, Fabian Antonio Arias Salgado, Ryan Birmingham, Zaid Al-Zain, John Ivory McSwain III, Vishal Arora, Bharat Malipedi, Matthew Davis Lamsey, Divine Vishnu Ramachandran, Jason Allen Reed, Ankit Yashwant Baraskar, Xiaoling Huang, Stephen Kennedy, Aiden Kier Gunn Jarvis, Noah Gabriel Pantoja, Parag Arora, Carson Alexander Ward, Jay Lee, Christopher Anthony Melton, Fardeen F. Kamani, Allison Fong Chuan Lee, Derek Michael Wu, Chad Christopher Young, Garrett Allen Devaney, Rigoberto Macedo, Vinay Ishwaran, Hector Enrique Gomez Morales, Farzin Golamrezai, Selvin Son, Albert K. Puangapai, Christian Tostrup Longborg Hansen, Saranya Kaviliswarapu, Farzana Akhtar Chaudhry, Abanub Abdelmalak, Ludmila Tuzova, Edgar Daniel Rojas Vasquez, Samir Mohammed, Justin Refit, Farooq Khan, Somia Ranjan Mishra, Corey Seth Brantley, Marshall Thomas Hayda, Clayton Douglas Hadaway Jr., Ji Hyung Kok, Orlando Alexi Irazo, Shivang Chopra, Hiam Akuri, Arun Kumar Kasaraneni, Cameron Lowell, Ganga Ramya Seshadri, Desiree Naomi Dominguez, Lynn Olivia Yu, Pradyumna Shom, Nikhil Prashant Bihip, Andrew Pierce Sansom, Raymond Christian Jimenez, Kavion C. Smith, Ernest Pambuku, Timesh Patel, Taylor Andrew Roten, Oluwatobi John Okusanya, Oyewale Adeyinka Oyediran, Rahul R. Salagame, Michael Duong, Benson Jung, Harish Mayoran Nathan, Gang Liu, Jie Fang Wu, James Andrew Farlick, Ian Dover, Brandon Llewellyn, Ashna Sood, Christy Young Gull, Heather D. Barton, Katrina Camille Roque, Jessica Lynn Heth, Madeline Kim May Jamie, Antonino Candela, Dhruv Singhal, Andrew Chen, Luis Alberto Icaza, Joaquin Romulo Garcia, Rahila Syed, James Richard Smith, Mark Adkins, Joshua Taylor Gillette, Kevin Shin Ye, Zachary James Souls, Peng Fei Dong, Zejun Shen, Andrew John Masters, Edward Wong, Madison Leonore Arurang, Andrew Bowling, Obina Okechukwu, Joshua Barry Carpenter, Ying Lee, Urel Wayne Mattis Jr., Muhammad Kamal Dokmak, Sam Havater, Robert David Stuckey, Christopher Darren Honecker, Elizabeth Catherine Saleh Pund, Rohit Venkat Ramireddy, Yihan Ping, Yue Wu, Carlos Marquez, Fabio Piccinini Dutra, Matthew Hunter Burkert, Derek Benjamin Lin, Chloe Leo E, Shibo Chen, David Joel Ammerman, Nitesh Agarwal, Francisco Ulises Loya, Alyssa Andrea Hodge, Ankur Ranjan Roy, Lendon Simpson, Sneha Srinivasan, Sarah Koh, Arya Budai, Farhan Nadim, Terry Bourget, Hui Zhou Luo, Jen Lee, Archil Rajiv Shah, Sahal Ayub Sheikh, Tianhuo Ren, Jayla Teresa Williams, Chen Qi, Xiaoyang Xia, Lingjie Wang, Liming Yan, Qiaoluo He, Bolun Zhao, Chao Jie Lin, Feng Dai, Jinghuang Chen, Isabella Grace Bond, Sue Ellen Purnett, Nicholas Andreevich Yatesky, Teresa Marie Newbig, Jonathan Willing, Lies Eid, Dennis Rinaldi, Devanshu Kamal Kishore Somani, Alexander Rafael Espinosa, Ryan Kelly, Milena Sapunova, Peter Angelo Hernandez Fuentes, Cameron Patterson, Mihir Rastogi, Advik Venkatasan, Nicole Lynn Deeb, Yuyin Shu, Li Hua Peng, Jiling Sun, Alexander Fan, James Fan, Brian McKay Byrne, Yuta Ricky Kendall, Andrew Mendez Bushnell, Tung Kwang Dong, Kevin Matthew Shu, Roshni Radhakrishnan, Renee Mary Yaldo, Trevor Michael Rowe, Garrett Ethan Cruz, Jose Carlos Castillo Guajardo, Christopher L. Jacoby, Ethan Bryant Piper, Jack Truxall, Alex Krostovsky, Basith Ahmed Fahumi, Shalin J. Patel, Matthew Forrester Jones, Eric Conrad Schneider, Han Wen Yang, Tejo Deepti Koparapati, Savannah Ann Pinnacle, Jenny Ting Liu, Marisa Caroline Domen, Bina Patel, Rachel Kempa, Matthew Allen Hartenbauer, Bohua Wu, Meng Yao, Kevin Lee Ceballos, Omar Minawi, Zihui Xing, Li Li, Gu Hai, Joshua James Payne, Jean-Jacques Muteteke, Ikena Nayelu Wakedi, Aditya Kaushik, Ryan Thomas Lynch, Desi Raisa Lim, Russell Buck, Lena Abraham, Tracy E. Remschneider, Dwayne Chen Liu, Wyatt Mitchell Thomas, Roman A. Sloan, Luis Valentin Rodriguez Gonzalez, Anthony Dante Edwards, Matthew Ryan Caceres, Varun Bhargava, Ten Lu, Amna Tahir, Alfred Matthew, Jasmine Rebecca Tata, Chaba Ferenc Poku, Niraj Kumar, Srivanayak Chai Ishwa, Pushuan Wang,
Liuanjui Liu,
Han Ting Chao, Yash Arora, Vignesh Sridhar, Pranav Sridhar, Sai Sricharan Manchikalapati, Anvita Garikiparthi, Avni Naik, Tuan An Tran, Stephen Nord, Trey Dakota Piro, Mark Andrew Schramm, Carol Chen, Kevin Doro, Tyler James Berkey, Ethan Aaron McInturf, Sridevi Ramalingam, Zifeng Liu, Karun Kumar, Ashton Taymori, Shansik Moon, Young Sok Kim, Aravind Suresh, Vamsi Krishna Dodapaneni, Shweta Sharma, Michael Andrew Lukasco, Benjamin Abraham Varghese, Chinmayi Kompela, Gerhardus Marinus Constan Berhavut, James Michael Dimitri Team, Anthony Gabriel Matthew Bouchon, Benjamin K. Bong, Hai Lin, Jerome Shanilka Pereira, Emily Nanette Goss, Lindsay Briley, Severo Vasquez Jr., David A. Bernal, Stephen Huynh, Kang Minbai, Anirvin Sika, Diana Sari, Sunit Mishra, Benjamin Christopher Churchill, Timothy Matthew O'Neill, Mohammed Abdul Halim, Joel Isidro Polanco, Aziz Sayed Ali Ishaki, Andres Julian Ramirez Gomez, Wesley William Addo, Deheng Chen, Nicholas Aaron Ramish, Aviv Lior Kohav, William James Highland, Taylor Last, Mohammad Hamza Khan, Thomas Jedediah Jenks Doman, Nathaniel Heron, Allende Donacho Ibere, Kyron Elijah Longwood, Edward Abraham Paz, Matthew Joseph, Sarah Huestis Mitchell, Emmeline English, Emmanuel Adurabemi Adu, Adarsh Guda, Srinivas Gudla, Amira Amina Huda, Dennis Scott Frank, John Larry Dial III, David Wilson, Srijit Chittarala, Anthony Robert Henriquez, Austin Richard Shamelli, Nathan Yuchong Tu, Sumita Tripathi, Riddhi Gunashekaran, Colleen Ann Janata, Natalina Corinne Vaccaro, Huan Zhang, Grace Marie Kuo, Alexander Robert Jacoby, Abhilash Nukal Moham, Kenneth Hom, Christine Khan Tran, Amber Rana, Meng Ying Yang, Aniruddha Kiran Mysore, Kent Ogisu, Olorun Tobiloba Olatunji, Danish Hassan Fiaz, Gerald Marchand, Suraj Singh Kirit Singh Parmar, Alex Broski, William Jonathan Ronald Davis Russ, Ian Lee, Christopher Vincent Wattenpool, Pedro Paul Moncada, Kevin Liu, Swapna Radhakrishnan, Sujatha Ravikumar, Michelle Dieta Stevens, Joshua Dylan Adkins, Joseph Powell Creekmore III, Darshan Chaudhary, Matthew Joseph Zeeley, Joel Pitzer, Hongzhen Liang, Wen Lee, Keegan Garrick Michael Kosler, Dawit Milikias Minamo, Kevin Lee, Yan Tong Lin, Saik Anam Joadar Siam, Vinod Kumar Dinakaran, Christopher Ian Davis, Humberto Godinez Olivares, Yasser Kanan, Neil Kavaratna, Jin Bai, Toyib Babatundi Olanite, Idowu Ololade Emehinola, Miguel Christian Godinez, Liao Huang, Huimin O, William Dobney, Matthew Sean Preston, Damian John Christopher Hoffman, William O'Hare Shue, Michael Patel Shear, Blake Gregory Eby, Eric Alexander Eby, Ria Ravandur Basapa, Ayushi Mathur, Michael Andrew Parr, Rohit Ganesh Kamat, Brian Chin Yu, Rustam Bogubayev, Praveen Chandran Ramachandran, Prasanth Prabhakaran Nair, Charles Logan Niffin, Jacob Locke Cumby, Shanmugam Subramanian, Kashyap M. Patel, Christina Marie Parrott, Rahul Bajaj, Arun Kumar Modukuri, Pramod Misra, Sriram Krishnan, Jigar Patel, Bhattarai Dilak, Kazdin Imri James Bakos, Brian Chahansky, Philip Gatbonton, Zachary Tyler Smith, Jack McGee Foyle, Hannah Grace Ballard, Christina Marie Corliss, Byron Patrick Gallagher III, Sam LaForge, Daniel Huang, May Duran Kalnick, Micaiah Alexis D., Juliana Marie Fergala, Rohit Singh, Philip Kruk, Ilorm Cujo Yador, Brandon Joel Goodwin, Ty Mason Young, Zhangyang Xie, Andrew James Heckerling, Jack Hap Vandemullebrook, Vishnupriya Ramesh, Andrew Lil Ashworth, Andrew J. Chavaria, Mubarak Muhammad Ibrahim, Thomas Koo, Lei Fuk Huang Long, Stefan Leopold Tobler, Ethan Yichung Chen, Akshin Vemana, Jack Fratto, Vedant Pavankumar Bhatt, Cameron Cervantes, Sophia Imhoff, Meredith Renee Rush, Vibhav Dindyal, Travis Everidge, Nanda Kishore Reddy Bomanagari, Justice Albert Cyrus Srigiri, Ping Chan Lin, Ting Yang Kao, Yu Chan Liao, Mohit Agarwal, Shivjit Umesh Bosley, Shubham Maheshwari, Megha Sharma, Kevin Lee Wilson, Kimberly Gevinson, Si Yuan Liu, Kathleen Tran, Xinying Jia, Jessica Lynn Miller, Albert Moawad, Michael Gonzalez, Eric Gonzalez, Aishwarya Solanki, Nikhil Sachdeva, Vasilios Kolias, Jialu Zhu, Zain Darvish, Arya Moin Amin, Kume Namdi Agidi, Ishan Sinha, Ajay Singh Gill, Gautam Satyakam Desai, Yu Chen Pan, Jisen An, Atul Verma, Suresh Babu Adisirla, Nicholas Malte Dansero, Adavya Bhutani, Akshay Vijay Patil, Emily Lauren Eby, Hannah Ward, Lisa Lin Si, Nivedita Balaji Chelam, Liam Thomas Jones, Jody Lynn, Nabil Armish, Anshul Mittal, Kabir Doshi, Ian Harrell, Amit Kamlakar Singh, Shubhankar Pratap Singh Balian, Michael L. Washington, Xuanhuai Wang, Xiao Ji Hu, Tanya Pang, David Adebolu Awolpetu, Chase Lee,
Johnson Chen.
Casey Wong, Andrew Haocheng Zhang, Anthony Feng Xiao Wong, Nanda Sundaravadavel, Sham Balasubramanian, Yipin Se, Sarah Elizabeth Thomas, Shomrita Roy, Mahesh Ajit Ramchandani, Calvin Liu, Adam Kaiser Hasham, Chima Donald Agaulor, Courtney Simpson, Indy Brick Morell, Lan Xiao Xiong, Chun Hao Zhou, Rochan Madhusudana, Rishit Mohan Ahuja, Yue Chang Yang, Yi Lun Zhou, Brendan Waits, Glenn Robert Hanlon, Adria Romero Lopez, Zachary Walter Cox,
Brittany
Robert
Clark.
Van Sant, Yi Lun Zhou, Brendan Waits, Robert Van Sant, Sachin Baburao Gaikwad, Xian Dong, Tiani Chen, Meena Nagarajan, Faye Folua Wura Michaela Ogunsanya, Sean Ilter, Mark William McKinstry, Christopher Chung, John Michael H. Smith, Hossein Abdullah Nejad Barrow, Cassandra Michaela Durkee, Abdulatif Isa Al-Rashdan, Adil Ahmed, Tyler James Deepantima, Raga Lasya Munugala, Pierre Barroso, Brieux Papert, Zachary Ryan Plato, Mohammad Taha, Dhruv Minesh Kumar Patel, Krish Kalyan Nathan, Sharan Satish, Arjun Verma, William Casey Lucas Runyon, Shravan Chikati, Viba Raghu, Mridul Gupta, Nikhil Poturu, Abhilash Munangi, Nimisha Kushal Kumar, Shivani Ketan Thakar, Ravi Watts, Rachel Abraham Daniel, Maria Princess Valerio Impel, Ashwin Srivastava, Vishvak Sinichami Venkatesan, Adrian Kao, Anlan Xia, Sana Verma, Karthik Ramamurthy, Brandon Via, Rishabh Jain, Anton Lavruk, Niloy Chakrabarti, Joseph Anthony Schmidt, Satchel Smith, Annie Mackay, Manuel Alejandro Aguilar, Divya Sai Chilakalapudi Venkata, Vivek Nagarajan, Ankur Bhutiani, Min Seok Kwak, Sangshik Park, Eric Sturr, Jason Aaron Fine, Sebastian Mark Jankowski, Alexander Joseph Schultz, Joshua Allen, Isaac Jason Dale, Zachary Robert Slayton, Kevin Fu, Ziya Ye, Nicholas Owen Byers, Mohammed Hussein Mansour, Ahmad Shah Afridi, Jinpu Zhou, Shuyan Ma, Srijit Chandran, Shadi Hassoun, Alexander Hurler, Kimberly Lee, Douglas James Marr, Albert Hensi Ye, Faisal Beg, Yvette Sun Kim, Hiren Kumawat, Kartik Sinha, Isha Vora, Navya Khanna, Shresha Das, Yash Singhal, Don Abraham Thomas, Rishit Mohan Ahuja,
Wow. Okay. Wow, that was amazing. Graduates, you've all worked so hard to get here, and I'm really proud to welcome you to the ranks of Georgia Tech alumni and a member of our College of Computing community and family. You will always be a part of us, and we hope to continue remaining connected with you. I, for one, will really treasure this moment where I was able to shake each and every one of your hands and look forward to meeting you again in the years to come. So I would like to thank all the family members and guests who came out today. I hope that everyone continues to celebrate. And one piece of instruction, as the faculty recesses, I request everyone to remain standing as we cheer, as we hear the singing of a fight song, and which will end with the Rambling Wreck proceeding. It's been a long commencement time and an even longer journey for you to reach here. Very proud of you. Congratulations, and go Jackets! So we can now recess. Okay, come.
Call, see you on TV, sunset done change.